Kamala Harris, the 49th Vice President of the United States, was born to parents who greatly influenced her path in life. Her mother, Shyamala Gopalan, and her father, Donald Harris, came from distinct backgrounds, yet their shared commitment to activism, education, and justice shaped Kamala's worldview from a young age. Understanding their stories not only provides insight into Kamala Harris's upbringing, but also highlights the remarkable contributions they made in their own fields. Shyamala Gopalan Harris was born on April 7, 1938, in Chennai, India, then known as Madras. She grew up in a Tamil Brahmin family that valued education and social progress. Her father, P.V. Gopalan, was a prominent civil servant in India, whose career in the Indian government saw him posted to various locations. He instilled in Shyamala a sense of discipline and ambition, which would guide her throughout her life. Shyamala was a brilliant student, excelling academically from a young age, and eventually pursued her studies in nutrition and endocrinology. Shyamala's journey to the United States in the late 1950s marked a significant turning point in her life. At just 19 years old, she was admitted to the University of California, Berkeley, where she aimed to further her education with a doctoral degree in nutrition and endocrinology. This move was groundbreaking for the time, as it was unusual for young Indian women to travel abroad for higher studies. Shyamala was not only driven by her passion for science, but also by a desire to challenge societal norms that restricted women's roles in both academia and public life. During her time at Berkeley, Shyamala became actively involved in the civil rights movement, which was gaining momentum in the United States. It was here that she met Donald Harris, a fellow activist and student. Shyamala's involvement in the movement was more than just a passing interest. It was a deep-seated commitment to fighting injustice and advocating for equality. This activism shaped her identity, blending her scientific pursuits with a broader vision for social change. Her passion for civil rights would later influence her daughters, Kamala and Maya, instilling in them the values of justice, fairness, and the importance of standing up against inequality. Donald Jasper Harris was born on August 23, 1938, in Brownstown, St. Ann Parish, Jamaica. He grew up in a rural community that had a strong emphasis on education, despite the socio-economic challenges of the time. Donald's parents, Beryl Christie and Oscar Harris, encouraged their children to pursue academic excellence as a way to create opportunities for themselves. From a young age, Donald was fascinated by economics, which led him to study at the University College of the West Indies in Jamaica before eventually moving to the United States to pursue higher education. Donald Harris's academic journey took him to the University of California, Berkeley, where he earned a Ph.D. in economics. His research and teaching focused on economic theory and the economics of development, and he later became a professor of economics at Stanford University. His career as an economist was marked by a dedication to understanding the forces that shape economic policies and their impact on developing countries. The meeting of Shyamala Gopalan and Donald Harris at Berkeley was a pivotal moment that not only influenced their own lives, but also set the stage for the upbringing of their two daughters. They were both drawn to the shared ideals of justice, equality, and the power of activism. This bond over shared principles created a strong foundation for their relationship, which led to their marriage in 1963. Together, they formed a partnership that was intellectually stimulating and politically engaged. Kamala Harris often speaks about the influence of her mother, Shyamala, who played a central role in her life following her parents' separation when Kamala was a young child. Shyamala took on the responsibility of raising Kamala and her younger sister, Maya. She made a deliberate effort to immerse her daughters in both their African American and Indian heritage, teaching them to embrace both sides of their cultural identity. Shyamala was also clear in her determination to raise her daughters as proud Black women, aware of the historical and contemporary struggles faced by African Americans in the United States. Shyamala's career as a scientist was impressive and groundbreaking. She made significant contributions to breast cancer research, focusing on the role of hormones in cancer progression. Her work earned her recognition in the field of biomedical science, and she became a respected voice in the medical community. Shyamala always prioritized her daughters, bringing them to her laboratory and instilling in them a love for learning and curiosity about the world. Her determination, resilience, and pursuit of excellence were qualities that Kamala absorbed from a young age, shaping her own drive to break barriers in her professional life. Donald Harris's influence on Kamala was also profound, despite his limited presence in her life following the divorce. His intellectual rigor and his work in economics offered Kamala a perspective on global issues and the importance of understanding systemic inequalities. As a professor and economist, Donald was committed to exploring how economic policies could be used to empower communities, particularly in developing countries. This focus on structural change and the economic empowerment of marginalized groups undoubtedly contributed to Kamala's understanding of policymaking and her later work in government. Kamala Harris has often spoken about the impact of her parents' activism on her own career. Growing up, she was taken to civil rights protests and rallies, experiences that left a lasting impression on her sense of justice and the role of public service. Her parents' commitment to fighting for equality and their dedication to education were guiding principles that shaped her worldview. They instilled in her the belief that it was not enough to observe injustices, but that one must actively work to address them. The legacy of Shyamala Gopalan and Donald Harris is seen not only in Kamala's career but also in her approach to leadership. Shyamala's resilience as an immigrant woman of color who succeeded in a male-dominated field and Donald's dedication to using his academic skills to address societal issues provided a blueprint for Kamala's journey. In essence, the story of Kamala Harris's parents is a testament to the power of education, activism, and resilience. Shyamala Gopalan and Donald Harris came from different parts of the world, each with their own struggles and triumphs, but their shared values created a legacy that has left a significant mark on American politics. Their influence on Kamala Harris is evident not just in her career achievements, but also in her commitment to fighting for a more just and equitable society. Through their lives and their work, Shyamala and Donald demonstrated that individual contributions, no matter how small they may seem, can have a lasting impact on the world. Thank you for listening to another episode of Loopholery, your go-to podcast channel for quick, witty, and insightful takes on random topics, all in 8 minutes or less. Whether we're diving into quirky facts, exploring weird loopholes, or just pondering life's strange questions, we keep it short, fun, and engaging. Perfect for curious minds on the go. Like or subscribe, and get your fix of unpredictable knowledge bites.